That's fine. Hi, good evening and welcome to the IBD Ostomy Support Show. I'm Louise, aka Crohn's Fighting. Steffi will be joining us shortly. She's only just got home and we've just had a message saying that she just needs to do a couple of bits. Rachel's not joining us this week. She needs to take time out and she's having a rest. So she's been put to bed and she's on her orders. If she comes on, we're going to do her. Tonight we are talking about liquid diets. So all of you within the IBD group have either been placed on them, seen a dietitian and been advised to drink them. You have pre-op drinks. You have the ones that they give you after the op. Then you've got things like TPN and tube feeding. And that's about it. We've got Steve joining us. Steve's had quite a bit of experience with both TPN and tube feeding due to...
Just a little bit.
Yeah,
just a little.
Which she's still going through now. So what have I been doing this week? Going stir crazy. I've had a pretty quiet week. Just a little bit of housekeeping before I pass you over to the others. For those of you that are now watching, if you'd like to support the show by clicking the subscribe button, the reason being is the more subscribers we have, the more that I can share it and have a show's unique link, which means that I don't have to keep sending out the constant reminders every week because the show would have its own platform. So for those of you that do subscribe, please press the red button and I will be ever so grateful. And I'll even let you in for secrets that I like to dance on tables when I'm drunk. So I will pass you over to Steve. And what have you been up to this week?
Hello, I'm Steve, aka Baghdaddy, hashtag. What I've been up to this week, been working, been training, been fundraising for my up and coming boxing match, which is going to be something else. So far I got about £374. That's just like the one factory that is at my block, and there's about 20 factories, so it should be quite a good amount. The DHL will match whatever I raise. I went swimming with the boys at the weekend. That's pretty much about it for me, I think. Quite uneventful. Oh, I've got.
Did you try mushrooms?
Say again.
Did you just try mushrooms this week?
I love mushrooms. I try mushrooms most weeks. I've hurt my thumb. Well, that part of my hand. So I've got an X-ray with tomorrow. No, I've got to see the doctor tomorrow about my blood pressure and about my thumb. That's pretty much it, really. I've been to see my IBD consultant. They've sort of put me off for another year, saying we'll go back to me in another year. They're arranging for me to see my surgeon so I can get my final op sorted. And that's me. Natalie and Steve, nice to have you on the show, Steve.
Thanks, mate. Nice.
What you've been up to this week?
We haven't really done a right lot. We had Layla on Tuesday, which was nice. Got run ragged and shouted at a lot by Layla. Incoherent, no, she is, but she enjoys shouting. She likes it.
I don't know if
No. Yeah. Other than that, we haven't really done a right lot.
No.
We had the boys at the weekend.
We went to see the elimination in Matlock, so that was nice evening. I went to see the surgeon on Monday. Talk about a reversal, but we've decided not having it. But he was actually brilliant. I was really pleased with him. We talked about all sorts of stuff. He was brilliant to look at it. He also thinks my decision to keep my stoma is a good one for me and my situation. So I'm happy with that. He's happy with that, and my gastro doctor's happy. So for the time being, it's staying. We're not doing anything else at the minute. He said, "Now and see if in a few years' time I may change my mind." But yeah,
keep it.
Sticking with Stanley.
Yeah.
Steve's really loud.
Go on.
And Natalie's really quiet like a mouse.
Yeah.
Can't even win now, can we? It was opposite a minute ago.
I was having to really struggle to listen to you then, Nat. Just about getting little bits, just to let you know, sorry.
Yeah, I got called today. Now I'm going to start my new medication next Wednesday at last. Over 2 years since I last done some Crohn's meds. Over 2 years. From infection after infection after infection. So
What medication is that?
Crossed, that's, I can't even pronounce it.
Stellara.
Yeah. I did a trial on it when it was coming into the trials. I did one of I was part of the clinical trials before it got funding to be brought mainstream. So I'm going on to that now.
Is that one of the biologicals as well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's one of the. It's not long been approved over here to be used.
No, it hasn't. I remember that coming out.
I will part of the trials to bring it in to be approved. So that should be good. Might get me a bit of
Fingers crossed on that.
Other than that, that's about our week, isn't it, really? Steffi?
Hi. I'm Steffi, colitis ostomy. I've apologised for being late on. We'd gone to see Stephen's brother, and it was like, and he's a good half an hour away from us, and then like halfway home we were like, screw it, we were going to go to McDonald's because otherwise Larry's not going to have any tea. So I scarfed down mine in the car so I could run upstairs. I've had quite a busy week. Well, on Monday I did nothing. It was the only day that I hadn't have anything planned. Tuesday I went to the South Tees Stoma Open Day, and either embarrassed or made my stoma nurses proud because it was like the next county over stoma nurse team that was there. And I plugged the show, I plugged Rachel, I plugged me. I plugged everyone basically because we've all got our own like unique part.
Did you remember me? Did you?
Well, I was actually talking about you to people with regards to like hernias and stuff, and Vanilla Blush, because it was like I got to spend a lot of time talking about Jasmine and White Rose actually, and then like Compass were there, so I was chatting to Charlie. What to do Wednesday? Wednesday I had an obstetrics appointment, which I'm going to write a post on because it's just too much to do a brief intro on. Today I was supposed to have seen Natalie, and Steve ruined it. You ruined it, Steve.
Sorry.
I love you, but you ruined it, man.
I know.
But it's fine. I got a tattoo instead. I saw my sister. I saw my sister. We ended up going and having lunch with Stephen. Apparently, I ruined him watching Lucifer on his phone. I was like, I don't really care. You're having lunch with me and Jacob's first time going up to his work and having lunch with him because he sat and had his bottle, and he had a rusk for the first time. He just sat there licking it, and is Layla Yorkshire then? Is Layla classed as Yorkshire? Yeah. We like Stephen's stepmom takes the piss out of the way I say no because it's so. She's like, you go no. I'm like, no, I don't, but I probably do. Like
no,
no, I don't either.
Like little, yeah, but you're Yorkshire as well, so I don't hear it from you. Yeah. I mean, you're south. You're southern compared to me, but like it's awesome when little kids go no because Rara does it. Although she sounds Teesside and sometimes, and it's like no, don't sound like you're from Teesside. Sorry, Mum. and then other times she sounds like she's from Louise's end. It's like, what are you on about? You're not southern. Get over yourself. Tomorrow I'm getting my hair cut. I haven't had my hair cut since the end of March, so it desperately needs doing. Saturday I'm helping my brother move, and Sunday I'm hoping to do nothing. So that was my week in a nutshell.
Tomorrow I'm offline completely, apart from the odd messages. Saturday I'm going to kill Maisie. Sunday I have a 1-year-old birthday party to go to with loads of children. Yeah.
Why are you gonna kill Maisie?
Because she's got a mouth on it like the QE2 and massive attitude problem at the moment.
My 4-year-old has that as well. She talks through her teeth at me, which she clearly gets from me talking to Stephen.
That's it.
All these
Self-learned.
well confusing.
It is, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm Steve. There's Steve, Stephen, and Steve. It's easy, really, mate. It's easy.
I can't say hashtag Baghdaddy because every time I say it, I laugh.
You've got to learn.
We've got Daniel Lee coming this weekend.
Have you? Just what's yours?
Yeah.
I was chatting to him just the other night. He said he's gonna come to my boxing match.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
We're hoping to be there as well.
Oh, fantastic!
Weekend now.
Brilliant.
Who's coming where? What?
Daniel Lee.
Oh, right, yeah. You've talked about it a few times, haven't you, Nat?
Yeah.
To me, yeah.
It's in Edgbaston. The old what's the place called now? I can't remember what the pub's called, but it used to be Grab a Granny night in the weekend. the Tower Ballroom in Birmingham. It's the H Suite in the Tower Ballroom in Birmingham. So that should be a blast from the past. Yeah,
I think Martin's just said on the show chat that he should probably get down there too, Steve.
Martin.
Yeah.
McQueen.
Okay.
That would be funny.
Yeah, the more the merrier. Bring it on.
Yeah.
It'll be like a meetup.
Well, you could guarantee Martin would wear like a mask or something because he looked like he'd love it. And Graham's just messaged me saying that he loves my accent. That's because it's Yorkshire, and Yorkshire's accents are the best. It doesn't matter whereabouts in Yorkshire you are. It's amazing.
The tea cake thing is just.
No, it's not wrong. It's right.
Yeah, and I grew up with like Geordie accents and stuff. So Graham, yours is awesome too. I haven't even heard you speak, but because you're from Newcastle, there you go.
I'm not getting involved.
Oh, they're saying that my family is from like Peterlee, so I think that's Sunderland.
What did you say about Birmingham accent then?
It's like the least popular accent.
Birmingham?
The thing is, none of us speak like that. None of us speak like that, you know what I mean?
Okay, well, Martin just said on the chat, I can't say exactly what he said because it's before 9 o'clock and I keep getting told off for swearing. He said, FC UK it, give it £100 fundraise and I'll wear a dress. Okay, if we get started on the foods and the liquid diets, now anyone within the IBD bracket is normally things like the elemental diet, which is, by the way, freaking evil. I've been on the elemental diet 4 times, I think, and that was from when I was diagnosed with the Crohn's from 2003 until 2009, and that stuff is horrid. Doesn't matter which way you dress it up, what way you stick it in the fridge. There are no good flavours, and drinking it cold, it's still like drinking sick. I'm sorry, but that's my personal opinion. And the elemental is actually quite bad for you because it has quite a high salt content. It's why they placed me on the Modulin back in 2012, because the elemental was no good for my potassium levels, apparently.
Yeah, but elemental is better for people with stomas.
Yeah, I didn't have a stomach.
Yeah.
Can you remember the one they were going to put me on during my pregnancy? Because that was a very specific one for people with stomas. So I'm pretty sure I told you two. It was like
I think it was elemental though, because it's the salt content in it is what makes it.
Because I wasn't gaining weight, and my dietitian was adamant whether my doctors weren't going to put a prescription in for it.
They possibly would have been the elemental, obviously with regards to giving your system calm down time, but with the salt content. But then they would have given you either the Ensure or the Fortisip to build you up.
I know I was going to be on Fortisip. She wanted me on Fortisip, and I've been on Complan.
Yeah, Complan. Complan isn't something necessarily that would be prescribed to you through a dietitian, not for Crohn's, so much because of the sugar content in it.
I had Complan when I was in hospital, when I was really, before they put me on like a feed line when I was 14, because I've still got a scar on my arm from where the feed line went in.
Yeah, TPN scars are fun.
You could do a dot to dot on me. You could do a dot to dot on me, honestly.
It scratched.
I look like I've got snake bites on my neck.
It scratched some part of my chest cavity when they pulled it out, and it was massive. My mum couldn't come in with me. My dad came in, and we were just like, "Oh my god!"
55 centimeters a PICC line.
I can't remember what it was.
Going in, is it?
Those PICC lines are huge because
PICC lines 55 centimeters.
Right. So anyone not listening who doesn't know what a PICC line is, would you explain? Because I'm kind of need a little bit more information on this as well.
Did you want to?
Go on, then.
I was going to say you explain it because you're better at it than me.
All right. It goes into one of your subclavian veins here.
Yeah.
Obviously, on the opposite arm. It feeds, and a PICC line sits just outside your heart, so it'll go all the way to one of the ventricles, and it'll just stop there. Then it feeds all the way on, and it is basically a giant cannula.
So it's actually what's it taking into your body? Feed.
You tend to use it if you're on like long-term antibiotics. Any long-term IV tends to be either a PICC line
or a Hickman
line or central.
Okay, so it's delivering drugs then.
Yeah.
Okay.
IV medication, any medication.
You can have TPN.
Yeah, obviously central lines, which go through your jugular, that sits again just outside your heart. Then you've got your Hickman, which goes through your chest subclavian, and that one actually goes inside your heart.
Right.
What's the difference between TPN and PICC line? Or is it just that TPN is a general term?
TPN is
a
nutrition. It's just nutrition.
What's the nutrition?
TPN.
Okay.
So parental nutrition.
Is it they normally stick it as 8 hours, isn't it? I think it's normally overnight that they give it to you with the TPN.
It depends. When you first put on it, you have to be on it for 24 hours because it's the way that it messes with everything in your body. If your potassium raises up while you're on it, if it's going through over 8 hours, obviously more content's going into your body. Your potassium could go high, your sodium could go low, your magnesium could. So they do it 24 hours first.
Yeah, because
mine was over 12 hours.
When they first put my Hickman line in, I had central lines in both sides of my neck, but I had inoptric support because my heart kept flatlining. So I had the Hickman line for the TPN. I had my central lines in here, and there was another one that I had in my arm. I've still got the scar from that here, but yeah, I didn't know how long the first.
I had double lumen hit.
Sorry, Steve.
I had double lumen hit, so I could use my TPN and do my medication for it, so I didn't have to. Because my jugulars now are inaccessible. You physically can't get a central line in there now. There's been over 20 centrals, 26 Hickman lines, and five PICCs, and that was in space of 18 months. That
you just can't get it in there no more.
No, you don't.
Jugulars are just totally collapsed. My left side, you can't get no Hickman lines in anymore. Right side, you could probably squeeze one in, but it's under GA now. You can't have it done. Well, I can't have it done. Sleep anymore.
So, because I had mine for long. I don't know, maybe a week, if a bit less. Which one's that classed as then? Because it was a feed.
And it'll have been TPN most probably. If it were going IV, then it was TPN.
Yeah. I was like 14.
You can have TPN. you can be on it indefinite, but there's so many risks with it.
The
It's
infection risk is
unbelievable.
way too high.
Well, that's why I can't have it anymore, because it's sepsis.
Because I remember every time, because I got put in the LGI, and every time my mum would get a phone call from one of her sisters, and she'd always just gone and got food from like the Burger King up on E floor, and like I'd unplug the machine and scoot down the bed and stuff a few chips in and scoot at the bed, and like I got told off for that when they found out, because you're not allowed to eat or something when they initially do it or something. But I blocked a lot of that time out, to be honest. It was that was probably my worst, other than most recently. But
It's not a nice thing to be on. It's good in so many ways, but it's like catch-22, because your nutrition is doing good and you're putting weight on and etc. But then your liver's starting to malfunction, your kidneys start to malfunction. I've got heart problems because of it now, because I had 2 lines that ruptured inside me. So that my TPN, instead of going into my heart, it gathered around my heart and put a lot of pressure on it. So there's so many risks with it. It's nasty stuff.
you're not going to cry, are you, Nat? You look like you're going to cry. It is quite a scary thing. I think a lot of people don't realise when you're that sick and you have to have things like, I can't physically have cannulas in my hands anymore, and if I wake up and I find one there, I have like full-blown anxiety attacks and I just pull them out. I can't physically have them in anymore. Like the hurt, because I used to have them in every Wednesday. I used to miss science every Wednesday, and like I can barely see them now, and when I get a tan, it's dot to dot, like you said, from scars. And it's just so like I beg them to put it in my elbow, and they don't like doing it, but it's the only way they're going to get either blood or they're going to get anything in. I've had them in my wrists and they just fall out. I've had one in my foot before. I
haven't got a clue how my infusion's going to be next Wednesday, because God knows where they're going to find some access for me.
Yeah, don't, because the last time
I don't even know. I've got a feeling they'll have to put an arterial cannula in, because otherwise they're not going to be able to have it. Look at the issues that I have every time I go to get some bloods at hospital.
Is that where they're going to put it in there? Steve? Yeah.
Yeah, that goes there.
Yeah, it's where they take the arterial blood gas from normally, because that hurts like hell.
Yeah.
I've had doctors put them on, like the outside of your wrist, like down where if you follow your little finger down. I generally get them there, and they fall out within like an hour.
Think of the most awkward spot on your body for a cannula. Think of one. Where do you think it'll be?
For me, it was my feet, when they cannulated my feet.
What do you think, Steve?
The most awkward place, right?
Yeah.
So you got Steve thinking now. Oh dear.
I was expecting you to say groin, because I've heard of them putting them in groin.
Yeah. That's what I was about to say. That's the most horriblest cannula I've had.
I've had them in the wrist when they couldn't find on my hands. I've had them in the wrist and they were horrible, really painful.
Yeah.
And it's always on your main hand that you're going to be using.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just simple things like going to the toilet. You know, you're going to need that hand. And it's always
I'm lucky. They always do it on my left, because usually they've got the main infusion going through my right, because my right arm's got the best cannulas.
My left has completely collapsed, and they can only get in through 2 veins in the centre on my right hand. Anything else, they can't get it out.
Well, it makes me feel sick just thinking about having another needle in my hand.
Yeah. I'm all right with needles. I just don't watch it. I'm absolutely fine. If I can't watch any needles going in. I can watch it on television, but no, I just can't be doing with it.
My hands and my back. That's it. If I have needles there,
it's
horrible.
Horrible in your back, isn't it?
Well, when I had my J pouch operation, I had a trainee anaesthetist, and he went to put it in like the space between your shoulder blades. There's like a little like gap or something, and he missed. And he said it's like at the tiniest little spot you can get, and he missed the first time, and it was absolute agony. But I let him try again, because at the end of the day, how else are you going to learn if you don't keep trying? And he got it in second time, no problem. But I've got a space on my lower back that I can't feel anymore, and it's just above that they put in for like epidurals and stuff, and that just kills me. I turned around to my obstetrics consultant yesterday, and I was like, I know I overreacted, because he delivered Rara, but he didn't deliver Jacob. I was like, I know I overreacted with that. He's like, yeah, but everyone's had one. You know, everyone's got one thing. He had a lumbar bunch when he was 5, and he said he still remembers that, and must be middle-aged now. And he's like, I'd never want a needle in my back again. So
it's horrible.
I know,
I
but
had
I think
lumbar punch by a trainee doctor as well, and they were telling him where it was supposed to go. Oh, I was in the baby. What do you know, the position where you curled right over? What's it called now?
The
fetal position, yeah.
Fetal.
And he was scrunching around, making holes in my back. It was horrible. That was like a potential meningitis scare, but it turned out to be nothing, just viral.
I think, to be fair, though, to some extent, especially with the more severe end of UC and with Crohn's disease, needles are a necessary evil to try and get you better.
Yeah.
As much as you sit here and say, you know, all of us, I can't have people going near my neck. In the summer, my scars raise because of what I've had done. But it's the root. It is the root of all evil, because at the end of the day, if you don't have it done, you're not going to get better.
That's
but
right.
it's still a trial and error, especially when you've got an untrained bleeding registrar trying to shove needles in you or a cannula in you, and they can't get it in, and there's, let's try 7 times, and when you get to the point of just no more, you have to get a professional then to come up 2 hours later to get in the first time what the one before should have been monitored for doing.
I think I've been really lucky in that respect, because the Friarage is quite small in comparison to like the LGI and James Cook. But if, for instance, like when my cannulas like tissued and stuff, sometimes the staff wouldn't necessarily believe you that it's soaking until like they came and touched and they're like, oh my God, yeah, this was only like put in today. We didn't expect it to tissue. And they'd get the matron to like 3 o'clock in the morning, and the matron would just come down and do it. Because, you know, they only ever have like 2 or 3 members of staff, don't they? Because nurses are so understaffed, and they're so underpaid for what they do. And I have treated nurses badly in the past, depending, like, generally only 1 ward, because they were horrible. But I do have a bit of a reputation for that now, or at least in the Friarage, and that's a bit sad. That I'm like, but like my sister and my dad, they're like, you be nice to the staff, and it's like, well, you know, if I'm in pain, I'm in pain, and I'm not a nice person in pain. I'm not a nice person hungry either. But...
She and Eva.
It depends.
She's like the hungriest person in the world.
What experience?
Honestly.
What experience has everybody had with regards to the NG tubes and the...
Can I go first?
Yeah, go on.
None.
I've had no NG.
So
I've only ever had an NG tube once, and that was because I refused to drink the Movicol or Clean Prep or whatever I was on at the time, and my mum and then had to like pretty much hold me down for the nurse to put this NG tube in so they could just put the laxative down. And I remember it was the worst experience ever. How I've got my nose pierced, I don't know, because I don't even like people touching my nose. But I remember when they took it out, it was awful. And after that, I just sucked it up and drank the laxative.
I like it when they take your NG back out.
I've had it when they've
Like,
explored my throat through my nose. That wasn't nice, but it's
with
not,
the little tiny camera.
yeah, it didn't last long, and I got a
No,
lollipop
it don't.
afterwards. So
I don't know.
Winner.
I don't get how people can do the NG tubes long term, because to me that is something psychological and I can't get over it.
My friend
I
Louise
used to
did
put my
it.
own NG tube in.
So
You used to put it up.
If I had one, I'd do it now for years. I used to do it all the time for myself, because when I was on NG feed, because I vomit so many times a day, with that only sitting in my stomach, I used to dislodge it and bring it back up. So I'd have to take it back out and put it back in myself.
do you ever get it wrong and put it down your trachea instead of your esophagus?
I've never done it wrong, because you know yourself, you can feel it yourself. But I've had
You
two
kind of like
doctors
swallow it down,
to
yeah.
my lungs before. I've had 2 doctors do it, and I've been coughing and telling them, "You're going down wrong." Oh, no, it's fine, it's advancing. And it goes down. It can collapse your lung. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Mm.
It is scary, but it's one of them things.
They're not meant to be long-term at NGs because of the dislodging risk. They tend to put an NJ in if you're going to be on it long, on any kind of feeding long-term and going to NJ.
What's the difference?
One goes into your jejunum.
Oh, is that what you've got at the moment?
Nasogastric and nasojejunal. That's what they stand for.
The nasal gastric is normally.
No, mine's a jejunostomy now, because it comes out of my stomach.
Do you find that
that's what ostomy means.
Do you find that easier to deal with, Stu?
Yeah, because I can't dislodge this one being sick.
So that's doing exactly the same thing as an NG tube, but it's like a more permanent.
It don't come out of my nose.
Right, so it's kind
I'd
of.
say it's smaller though, because it's actually quite big, and it's still like out like a good foot. So.
Is it fitted anyway? I mean, is it like attached? Like the way a stoma is stitched.
It's just like a hole, honestly. Like,
is it okay? And do you have problems with infections at all?
You can see it's just a hole.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And it moves in and out and whatnot. What it is on the inside, there's something about the size of a 50p piece. It's like a big circle, and that's what holds it inside.
Okay.
That's on the inside, and then the tube comes out, and the loop of bowel where it is, that's stitched to your abdominal wall, so it's close. So it's close to there, and then the tube just comes out.
Are the infection risks with that lower, Steve, than what they are with the obviously your previous experience with the TPN and the issues that you was having with the NG tubes?
Oh yeah, loads better, because this don't go into a vein. It goes into an organ, doesn't it? But you can still get infections on it, and I'm having issues at the minute with overgranulation. So like my stoma is basically like trying to come out like my other stoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a stoma as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
Stoma is a permanent hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You two have gone blue.
Yeah, they have gone blue.
It's cold in there, is it?
Turn the actual TV, I think. So I've pressed the power button on the TV.
After dark.
It'll be all right on the night. So that's our motto.
I was waiting for someone to make a blue movie joke, but
I'm not stooping that low yet.
Press the actual power button on the TV. Underneath it.
Can't understand your accent,
Steve, how long have you had the NJ tube in now?
Well, the jejunostomy has been in since 15th of January. Right hand side.
They're not
Oh,
having
God.
a domestic at all over TV buttons. No.
Yeah.
I won't mind, right? But there's writing on bottom of TV and it says standby. So that is logically you push that button there, wouldn't you? And that means that standby.
That's all right, because Natalie, my Stephen would be doing exactly the same to me, because I'd be like, oh, this one.
I was pressing where the light was.
You're going to need to shout, Nat.
You should have just paused.
So,
They kept coming back on.
how long
Yeah,
does your feed going over, Steve? The one that you've got now?
Mine goes over 18 hours it takes, but I take more than what your average person would.
Is that a day?
No,
Per day?
Yeah.
Every day, yeah.
It should be done between 8 and 10 hours, but I can't hack the speed of that. It should be. Mine's at half of what it should be.
So how does that...
85 mils.
Do you carry the bag around with you, the bag of feed?
Yeah. I have like a stand with my pump on and that lot.
Okay.
If I go out and about, I've got like this backpack thing that it goes in, which is pretty cool.
You go out, sorry, what?
For anyone who's going to get on NGs, ask for the Nutrition pump, because their going out bag, like portable bag, is the best out of this Nutrition, Abbott, Fresenius and Carby. They're all horrible bags and they're big and bulky. The Nutrition one is
18 hours is a lot of time. Can you feed through the night?
Yeah, I do it overnight, but
I was just saying, we've got his stuff to set his feed up. Normally you'd have it on by now.
yeah, I normally put it on at about 4 or 5 o'clock.
We were going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably best if you start doing it now, to be fair.
Yeah, Martin said that the portable bag is pretty damn good, and that he's on 1,000 mils over 10 hours. But
and I should imagine they'll be just on the normal Peptizol, which is Nutritious own.
That's what it was. It was a peptin-based milkshake I was going to have.
That's what allergic to, that is.
It's peptidismal. It's not what they give you in like a freaking yellow-coloured thing that's disgusting.
Nutritious bags of Peptizol, they're just 1 calorie per mil then, but because I'm losing weight again, they've had to change my feed, and I'm now on one called Vital, which is like double the calories. So.
And it tastes like Ensure.
And she likes it.
I like it.
Yeah, do you nick a bit, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why she likes to do it.
Steve, is yours not being able to handle the rate because of your gastroparesis as well as the Crohn's?
Well, my bowel just can't hack it. I don't have a lot of bowel left between my stomach and my stomach, the right lot there. So everything that goes into it, it does it at like 1,000 miles an hour. Like it might take you 20 minutes for something to go through, like you eat, and mine will go through in like 20 seconds.
Bloody hell!
It's just an agony, honestly.
So this is his stuff. It was that in the big bottle, and then he has to have 2 of these as well, added into this bag.
Can you shout now?
Like no, these must just attach a giving set to that, and then put it onto pump. But because I have to have extra, I have to put it in a reservoir bag.
Okay. Yeah, because normally they'd put the bottle up, wouldn't they, and put the IV up through the bottle.
Yeah.
So with the 18 hours, do you find it okay, or do you find it draining?
Draining.
You find it draining, but I mean, obviously you still go out and do things, don't you? You still have an active life. You still have a social life. You still pop out with obviously the carry bag with everything on. So do you know?
The only issues I do have is the carry bag is not designed for these reservoir bags, so I have to like give it a bit of a jiggle and squeeze it in there.
Okay. We've all done that with something or other.
It was rather handy to get your belly out ball because
we used it to hide as alcohol.
One of my friends, when she was on
and on holiday.
We did, yeah. On holiday too.
One of my friends, when she had her NG tube and she had to like carry around her feed and stuff. Although I think she's also had like Hartman and Hickman, and she's had all sorts throughout like our admissions that we were in together. She used to just carry it in her own handbag. She used to have like, her grandma bought her a nice like back handbag, and she used to just carry it in that.
Well, you can get rucksacks and stuff with the holes in that people poke their headphones out of, don't they? So that'd be the same. You could use something like that because you could just poke the tube out.
Another thing,
wearing hats with a big straw.
I used to have Ryle's tubes a lot in the hospital, and sometimes I kind of wish that I still had some. I had my own supply of them at home, and that is an NG tube but thicker, and you use it to aspirate so you're not sick. And it's for people with gastroparesis, and it is literally like about as thick as what my jejunostomy tube is, and that goes up your nose and down into your stomach, and you just aspirate out of it. For
does the gas come out straight away? Does it? You bring like whatever you're going to vomit up, it just comes out that way. So right, you are. Okay.
You're not actually physically being sick. People that have GJ pegs, which is a gastro peg and a jedge peg, it's got two bits on. They're able to aspirate out of the gastro bit and feed through the jedge bit. So they're quite handy.
So with the gastroparesis, because I only heard about it for the first time in October last year when I'd gone to a running group, and one of the girls there that I know, we were running together for a bit. She was saying that she's got gastroparesis, and I never heard of it before. And she said that like any fresh food she eats just rots away in her stomach because it just doesn't digest.
It literally sits. That's it. Like it sits.
Because
this that I'm drinking now, right, will just sit in my stomach. And that's it. I'll bring it up when I'm next go to the toilet to be sick. It's a guarantee because it don't move. It don't go nowhere.
Because
it just sits.
That girl we're friends with, that girl we're friends with, that we spoke about in the Sick But Invisible chat, indisposed and undiagnosed. She's got gastroparesis, hasn't she? And her stomach's always bloated with it, isn't it?
Yeah, because it just sits in there, obviously, and then your stomach's meant to get your bile and whatnot to invert your food down, isn't it? And then it uses contractions and spasms to pass it through to move it on to wherever it goes.
Because don't they give you medication?
Yeah, you can have mobility medication, motility medication. Erythromycin will probably best one out of them all, which is an antibiotic for children. But it still didn't work for me. And then you can have metoclopramide and domperidone, which are both anti-sicknesses. But I'm allergic to them, so I can't have them ones anyway.
The Metro one's crap. I was on that during my pregnancy, and it did nothing. I really struggled through my pregnancy with like sickness, but it wasn't.
It's
vomiting.
Good for breastfeeding because it makes you lactate.
Oh, well, I'm glad I stopped doing it when I did it. But I found it did nothing for nausea because that was my issue, and it's supposed to be an anti-nausea, not just an anti.
Half the anti-sickness meds are pants. I know that because of every time I've had an NG tube that they've put down me because my bowel's not reawoken after the resection, and when I had the ileostomy done again, my bowel goes to sleep. It doesn't wake up for a few days or a week, and I've had the NG tube in, and I always forget I'm going to projectile vomit, and the anti-sickness meds don't work. The ones they give me don't work.
But if you think about it, right? If your body needs to expel something, it will expel it, no matter what medication you've been given. If your body wants that out of you, it will expel it.
Yeah, the problem.
I take anti-sickness every 4 hours, all day long, and most anti-sicknesses are meant to be 8 hourly, and I have it 4 hourly.
It's like,
and I'm still sick all day long.
Steve,
it just stops.
Oh, sorry. No, like you say that you're allergic to some of the you say that you're allergic to some of the anti-sickness meds. With me, they give me the anti-sickness because I'm allergic to half the pain meds they give me. Also found out I'm not too good on the meal last time, which is why I was projectile vomiting. So I don't know why the sickness meds don't work. It's I don't know.
Which sickness meds was it?
Oh God. I'm trying to think now. I don't know.
They always start off on cyclazine.
Yeah, cyclazine, and then the one that
metoclopramide, and then work up. Cyclazine's only a higher one, so. But that's for if you're like having major sickness, and they need you to stop being sick straight away. That's one that they give you.
They give me like. Which was the other one? That.
Ondansetron.
Yeah, that really works, that one, because when I had when I got, I don't know whether it was a blockage or because they still don't know what it was, but when I got admitted into the maternity unit, because obviously with being pregnant, they figured it was the safest place. In the ambulance, because I couldn't stop being sick, and I was being sick for like 2 hours by this point, severely dehydrated. They put on an IV in the ambulance of ondansetron, and it stopped me being sick really straight away, and it was great.
To the Americans watching, that's Zofran. That's what it's called over there. That's what they use over there. Zofran. That's their brand name for it over there. It is, in my opinion, the best anti-sickness going. Is that? And it is normally just 8 hourly, but I have it prescribed 4 hourly. That I have that and cyclazine every day, and they're my anti-sickness meds.
Is your cyclazine via IV as well, Stu?
No, I do it through my tube. So it's enteral instead of EN. Most of my meds, unless they're dispersible ones that dissolve in my mouth. Otherwise, they just go through my tube. Okay. So at least I'm not vomiting them up, which is always handy. But
the only drug I've ever vomited with is laxative. I don't know. It started with Picolax. Because, I mean, let's face it, it's metallic. It tastes awful. It's rank. Everyone that goes in for, like, colonoscopies, or at least back when I used to have them and stuff, always was given, like, Picolax. And they just started writing down that I was allergic to it because they were like, because it was pointless because I'd take it and I'd be sick. Movicol, I'd take it, I'd be sick. Clean Prep, I'd take it and be sick. So, but this didn't start happening until I was about 16, 17. I would just throw it back up. And they'd be like, oh, we'll just give you some cyclazine. You won't be sick. And
you will throw out Picolax, though. The quantities that you have to drink that in, I think it's like 2 litres, isn't it, over a period of 2 to 3 hours that you have to drink that, and you have to drink 3 sets. It will make you puke. Giving your cyclazine's not going to, it's an evacuate all exit.
Oh, no, by this point, I was on Clean Prep. And then they just changed and decided I was going to have enemas after that because it wasn't worth it because I was just throwing it up within like
Do you know what though? I found the movie prep is one of the easiest ones I ever had to deal with because of the bile salt malabsorption. Everything went through me like a rate of knots anyway. So the movie prep was quite easy on the system. However, I was panicking the morning before my op because I'd done what I was told to do, and I still felt like hadn't emptied everything, and I was worried I was going to go and put onto the operating table and have it all everywhere. So, but
isn't that like Movicol then? Because up where we are, it's Movicol and Clean Prep, which are two very separate. Like they're like the stronger ones?
It's called movie prep, and they give you a load of Senna to take 6 hours before you start the movie prep, and then the movie prep is done in 2 sittings.
Oh yeah, no, we don't have that. We don't, or at least I haven't heard of that in the last 2.
I'm a clean prep.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a northern thing, like, because it's
I
like
don't
based
take
on the
any of
trusts
them
and
anymore.
stuff.
They don't even attempt to use that kind of thing. I love it. Because
See, everyone's saying, it's like everyone's saying on the chat that clean preps make them all vomit. And then somebody else, Martin's decided to put yay warm lemon.
To be honest, they're all horrible, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all
The amount you've got to drink as well.
Mm-hmm.
A litre in half an hour, I told. I used to get told.
Horrible. I think it's just the fact, if they flavoured it like, I don't know, alcohol, we'd drink far too much of it, to be fair.
Yeah, Darren, I've got to go for a gastrocopy soon, and I'm not looking forward to it. I don't like things down my throat at the best of times, let alone that.
I've only ever had one endoscopy, and I was
having that.
I've only ever had one endoscopy, and I was 14, and they just put me under anaesthetic. They also didn't tell me that my throat would hurt afterwards, and there was me trying to eat like sausage rolls.
I've had 2 colonoscopies, a few sigmoidoscopies, and like I dread to even imagine how many endoscopies because my duodenum has got loads of strictures in. They tried to dilate them for ages, so every other day I used to have to go down 2 hours for them to try and inflate my duodenum back open. So I've had God knows how many endoscopies. I hate that.
I think the worst ones for me were flexies. They used to give me panic attacks because one time I had a colonoscopy, and I'm pretty sure I fancied my consultant, and he had put sedation on and it didn't work, and he was chatting away to me, and obviously there was like the screen and I could see my bowels and all the ulcers, and I was like, and then he kind of misjudged it and like jabbed the side of my like large intestine, and oh my god, that was it. I was throwing up. It was horrible. And after that I had to have flexies because I had my pouch by then, and then I was just like, no, I'd have panic attacks and I just wouldn't go in. I missed so many, and I probably would have been diagnosed with pouchitis a lot sooner and not suffered with my pregnancy with Rara if I'd actually just sucked it up and went for them. But they're terrifying.
Well,
I'll tell you, out of the sigmoidoscopies and colonoscopies that I've had, the most painful one was the one where literally they were going into the 15 centimetres of rectal stump, and they had to obviously inflate it, and that was the last one I had, and I've never felt pain like it. It's horrible. I wish I'd have had the sedation. I mean, everywhere they touch,
the air into you, isn't it?
Literally, 15 centimetres is not far, is it? But it was low. I mean, I wish I'd have had the sedation, but I wanted to drive, so I didn't have it.
Gas and air. Gas and air.
Gas and air, you know
things
what?
like that. Oh, because I found that all right with the last flexi.
Oh, that's horrible.
I get them to knock me out because I've got fissures, and because I'm with the diversion colitis and I'm still quite sore on my bottom and itchy. I just go for the full out sedation.
Well, I would next time. That was horrible.
They never gave me that option.
I didn't have. I've only had one flexi, and I didn't have sedation for that one, and it was all right. But I was an inpatient at the time, and I was doped up on so many pain meds and stuff anyway.
Well, I was an inpatient, and I was given gas and air, and they were going to have discharged me 2 days before, and the guy, and like just a registrar turned around and went, "How can you diagnose pouchitis over the telephone?" He's like, "You can't do it. You've got to see inside." And that's when they actually finally diagnosed after. So I don't think my pouch ever put me in remission. It did make me a lot healthier. But
it's all right. I'm laughing because some of the comments on here tonight are rather amusing if anybody's actually seen the live chat. Martin said apparently, and I'm not advising any of you watching this, any newbies that are going for colonoscopies, endoscopies, gastroscopies. I'm not saying do this, don't do it. I'm just relating what somebody else does. Apparently he drinks the whole lot, like all 4 sachets, mixed with a pint of neat Vimto, and then just downs water all night. I'll tell you what, if I'd have known that when I'd had my first colonoscopy, I might have taken you up on that offer. Holy balls.
Hospital, when I do MRIs, they offer me Vimto to put in it.
I think I like Vimto, I do. And I wouldn't want anything to put me off Vimto. I don't think I'd do that.
No. And then he's
what I mean? I'd probably have it with parsnips or something.
Sorry, the parsnips. Steve posted up a picture of mushy peas last night, and I couldn't help myself. I went and got the tin of spicy parsnip soup.
Disgusting.
Out of the cupboard.
I've just done a
dirty man.
And this was his cannula.
I know, I couldn't get that out.
Oh, yeah. I can see it.
Can you see it's sort of between his forefinger? That looks so sore.
I found out yesterday that when people with stomas have diorolite, we're not supposed to just have 1 sachet, we're supposed to have 2 to 3 sachets in a glass. And it's absolutely horrific anyway, is diorolite, no matter what juice you're sticking with it. But my stominess was like, because I am suffering quite badly with dehydration because of the high output, and nothing seems to be working.
I'm not the only one that gets given movie prep, sorry. I've just had an email.
And she said that I should try, when I have diorolite, I should have 2 to 3 sachets in it rather than the 1, because obviously we need the higher salt content. But there was a girl on Twitter, I'm not going to say her name but like she said to me that maybe my high output is because I'm having too much salt. Has anyone heard that before?
What's the
high output?
High output caused by too much salt.
I'm not sure about that.
No, it's not, because the salt dehydrates us.
Yeah.
Too much sugar.
Gotta be we're suggesting to eat more salt.
Yeah.
Surely that's going to affect like blood pressure and
too much sugar, too much artificial sweeteners and things like that will make your stoma flush. Too much salt, as far as I am to my knowledge, wouldn't, because we're advised to up our salt intake to try and help retain our electrolytes.
I mean, I do drink a lot of fizzy pop, and it's usually like Coke Zero or Pepsi Max or something, but it's the small, like, the normal ones you get in the meal deals, and I'll have maybe, if I'm having some, I'll have 2 a day, and then I'll like have a little break. But even the days that I don't have it, and even if I don't have it for a couple of days, it makes no difference at all. But because my weight's actually dropped quite a bit, I don't feel like it has, like, to look at myself, but when I've weighed myself, it went down quite dramatically, and I'd already lost my baby weight, so it can't be down to that. But it's just, I'm a bit worried that they're gonna, because I'm getting referred back to my dietitian because I actually missed my appointment by accident, because it was the month after Jacob was born, so I was a bit obviously preoccupied with everything else. And I'm just a bit worried that they're going to stick me back on like Fortisip or some other crap like that. Whichever one has the peptin in anyway, because that's something that when Steve mentioned that, I was like, alarm bells went off. Like, that's what they want me to have because it's softer on the stoma. So. Okay,
right. I'm going to have to do the wrap up a minute. I'm just going to say what Elaine said. Also, the other lines that you get. I don't know if anybody knows Megan, but she did a bit for the show when we first started out. Now, Megan has a portacath in her chest for her meds and for her feeds. And I know that she's been through 98 tube feeds over the last 8 years. And the amount of people that I've had through this evening actually via email saying that the amount of colonoscopies and endoscopies or sigmoidoscopies that they've had in the last 2 years is huge. I mean, Elaine in total has had 6 in 2 years. So that's 3 a year that she's had to try and find out what's going on, because she's got perennial Crohn's, isn't it? Elaine has. So, so I think that's going to be about it for this evening. If anybody wants to contact Steve or ask him about the feeds, or Rachel, because Rachel is also another one that's had 8 PICC lines in the last couple of years as well with regards to sepsis and having to have TPN feeds due to her weight dropping. So yeah, I think that's about it for liquid diets this evening. For the whole of October, we are running on relationship months, so it's going to get a little bit crazy because we have people popping on from everywhere. We're doing, for next Thursday, we're doing friends, relationships, and being chronically ill. So do any of you feel that your friendships have been affected, or if you've lost friends over the years, or if you've gained some steady friends? I mean, I know that I'm very lucky that I've got the ladies from the show and Steve and a couple of other people that talk to me via DM as on top of my friends. So we all have our friends joining us next week. So that should be fun, because you might be finding things out that we didn't know.
Mine's coming all the way from San Diego, and she's going to hope she's not running too late to go back to her class, because it's like going to be 1 o'clock over there.
Can anybody see this? We also have Jasmine on, Jasmine Stacey, week 2, to talk about lingerie, sex, chronic illness, and relationships. There's a very big possibility I might be ducking out that night, or you will hear me, but you won't see me because I'll be hiding under the desk. The final week, we are doing relationships and has it affected your families? So we will be having some of the mummies on of the girls. Personally, mine's not, because I'd rather jump off a bridge. Because my mum's way too overprotective and should be telling us all what to do, so it's not happening. And end of October, I'm ever so sorry, but we are, all of us as a show have been invited down to Pelican down in Cardiff, and we are going to view the factory, and there's a couple of other bits and pieces that we're doing and going out for a meal. So you might see some live feeds from us whilst we're out with Pelican, but other than that, we won't have a show on that week, because the Thursday we're all travelling from Cardiff back in relative directions, and there's no way any of us are going to be home.
I'll be on a train for 9 hours. I will literally get back into Northallerton at 7, and that's still half an hour's drive from where I live.
Hardcore.
But at least on my way down, I go through Derby, so Natalie and I'll be on the train together for the rest of the way. So, yay.
I don't know how I'm going to feel travelling down there all on my own, because I think I'm the first one down there to book into the Airbnb. Yay!
So I'm stealing a Steve, because, you know, she's mine. She's not yours, she's mine.
Is that okay? I'll be quite pleased, I think.
Just make sure you feed her.
I will.
You won't be wanting her if you don't.
So, yeah, we've overrun for this evening. I'd like to say a big thank you to Steve for coming on, because I know you've not been well today, and we're very grateful for you coming on to explain. It's brilliant, and thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And yeah, so if any of you have got any batshit crazy friends like we have, and you've got firm solid friendships with us, please let us know and share your experiences next week, and we will see you again at 8 o'clock. So we'll say bye for this evening.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.